So kind of a big deal. I mean, if you're dashing on DoorDash, this is one of the most important metrics that's changing right now, not only for if you're on time, but the rewards platforms, either Dasher Rewards or the newer overall Dasher rating pilot program. It's the new on-time rate. And Dashers have been just noticing in the past couple of weeks here, new changes that are hitting their account. So in this video, I want to go over what's changing, what Dashers are seeing. Will this help you? Just that. Will it help you on the road? Then, of course, right, will it actually help you make more money? Which one do you have? And if this is the first time you and I are meeting, by the way, my name is Mike, coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've done this gig economy almost 10 years now in different marketplaces, part-time and full-time. And I started in October of 2015. So you're in a good place if this is the first time that we are meeting. If not, welcome back. Now, go into your Dasher app. You can do it right now if you're watching live or in the replay. If you missed a live, click the notification bell, click all notifications, because I want to interact with you and actually answer questions. Do you have in your metrics on time or early? That's what it's called, on time or early. Let me know right now. Or on time rates. Which one do you have? On time early, just type it in the live chat or type it down below in the comments, or on time rates. While you're doing that, I have on time or early, which is like the original way of doing it. And there's a pretty big difference in the calculation of how DoorDash calculates on time or early versus on time rate as well. The calculation is changing. The weights on your profile in those rewards programs are changing. I'm seeing, hey, I have on time or early. I have on time rates, I'm assuming. Let me know. So here's the deal. You can click on it and it shows you just that, right? The percent of times that you're on time or early. Wow, this guy's a genius. Incredible, right? But here's what's new. Look at this. What's changing and why it matters. So Dashers just started to notice this like a couple of weeks ago. They said, wait a minute, not only is my profile getting on-time rates, because you might be thinking, well, DoorDash announced that like 6 to 8 months ago. But now it's coming to more Dashers, but it's also looking different. It's a different display and they tell you different things. Let me show you, right? So shout outs to a Dasher that sent this to me, and I would like to give credit real quick. Should have had that pulled up, but let me see if I can just log in real quick on my accounts here. If you ever want to send anything here, because we are a team, I'm just, one person, Nick M, thank you very much for sending this over to our info tab. That's what I was going to say, info@yourdrivermike.com. If you see something that's like, hey man, I've never seen this before, here's some screenshots of a new beta feature, something that I'm only seeing regionally or locally, or just like a new app. Say, hey, here's how something's going on such and such app. Send that to info@yourdrivermike.com. Or look at our contributor program, yourdrivermike.com/contributor. Now, here's the new screen. Still displays your general on-time rates. It still shows that percent of times that you're on time, okay? But change number one, now it's calculated based on your last 100 deliveries that were completed. So it's like your acceptance rate. Your acceptance rate, if you don't know, it's calculated based on the last 100 prospective offers. Here, it's based on the last 100 deliveries completed versus lifetime. So if you're like me and you have on time or early, that on time or early, that's based on lifetime deliveries. So if you feel like on time or early never changes, I've been stuck at like 84% forever, that's why, because it's calculating slowly your lifetime deliveries. On time rates, last 100. Next, this is even newer here. Now the app shows exactly how many deliveries were on time versus late. They never showed that. So now you can actually look, okay, well, if you're calculating based on my last 100 completed deliveries, if they just showed the percent, like the old rates, you're like, I'm at 84, like mine, right? You're like, well, how many were late? Or if you're at like 89, you're like, I don't think I've ever been late. Let me know in the live chat or the comments if you feel like you're more on time than what DoorDash shows you. Now they're going to say, okay, well, you're on time for 96 from, this was Nick's screenshot. Again, thank you so much for sending that over. 4 of them were late. But then there's even more detail. It gets even better. And frankly, this is better, in my opinion. If you can, drop a like on this video if you appreciate the value that I'm providing so far. Hopefully you think it's valuable. Drop a like on that video and consider subscribing. All I do is help you make money in different side hustles. There we go. Huge things coming at the end of 2025. I'm just saying, join our newsletter. It's free. yourdrivermight.com/newsletter. Huge things coming. Stay tuned. Shows you how many deliveries were excluded as well. It's a little small. Look under the late category. It will say, in this case, 12 late deliveries excluded. Now, that's great. And let's see exactly how they calculate that. So DoorDash says that they'll automatically exclude up to 10 late deliveries for things like, unpredictable challenges like restaurant delays, traffic conditions, and tricky customer drop-offs. I kind of read that like, well, it's a massive apartment complex. I thought I would go in this door, but for whatever reason, it wasn't that entry. It was a building over there and I couldn't find it. So I would imagine if their GPS shows you at the correct location and it just sees you like moving around trying to find it, it could be that. I hope their algorithm will be smart enough if there's a gate code, either to a complex or a home, whatever it is. If the notes say there's a gate code, I would love to see that built into the algorithm as well. Hey, they couldn't advance because there was issues with the gate code. Excluded. Now, if you're like Larry, thanks for joining, says only 10 excluded, I noticed this. Look, this says 12 late deliveries excluded. Look on the right side there. 12. So here's one of the takeaways. This is directly from DoorDash's support page. Their support page says up to 10 late deliveries excluded for unpredictable stuff. But an actual screenshot from a Dasher says 12. So are they giving some leeway, a little flexibility? Maybe they say 10, but maybe it's a little more than 10. That's a good thing. You want that. Because if you have a lot of restaurant delays or something in your marketplace, you want it to be excluded from your on-time rates. That's a good thing. So, we'll see if there's some flexibility there. But look at the bottom. It says, okay, dashers who arrive at the merchant or customer significantly after estimated pickup or drop-off times will still be eligible for a contract violation. So if you don't know what that is, it's called extreme lateness. Typically, it's like 15 minutes late to either the pickup or the drop-off. So it says, look, even if you're late, That's kind of, what do you think about that? Even if you're late because of, quote, unpredictable challenges like traffic, you can still be hit with a contract violation, which is kind of more serious because if you have a decent amount, it's kind of like open-ended. They haven't really said. If you have a lot of extreme lateness, you can be deactivated. You can lose access to your Dasher profile entirely. That's kind of a big deal, guys. So let me know what you think about that. You could be forgiven from on-time rate, but it can still count for that violation. Now, they also say, how do you determine the original delivery time shown on the offer screen? Listen, hold on. Just come back to me right now and think about this question. Write it in the live chat, or if you're watching the replay, comment it down below. You know how when you get an offer, any offer, and it's like, all right, well, I follow what Mike teaches. If you don't know what I'm talking about, consider subscribing. But there's the pay, there's the mileage, there's the positioning. Okay, where's it ending? Is it going to end in a power strip? Do I like the restaurant? Have I had problems there? Or shop, whatever it is. But there's an ETA on there. It says deliver by, I forget the verbiage, deliver by 6:15 p.m. Let's see if I can find an offer real quick for you. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm in the way, but hey, deliver by 6:09 p.m. That is the ETA that they're talking about. So look, DoorDash says, how do we come up with that ETA? Well, we consider factors like expected merchant wait time, routes and traffic conditions, and speed limits. That initial ETA. Why does that matter? It matters a whole lot. Look at this. When is a delivery considered late? When it is completed past the expected time shown when you accept the offer. It's not any other delivery time. So, maybe you don't know if you haven't started yet, but when you pick it up, because, it could be ready immediately, or you could shop and you can shop super easily, or there's a delay, your delivery to the customer, the delivery time specifically, is updated. So if it's not ready immediately at a restaurant, then your ETA, it was 6:09 in our example. If you had to wait 10 minutes, then the delivery, it's not going to be 6:09. They're going to account for that. And delivery is 6:19. Doesn't matter. Only this matters. Completed past the expected time shown when you accept the offer. Now, I said this when on-time rate came out. I said, hold on, guys. If everything is contingent on the ETA when you get the offer, that ETA, speaking to you, DoorDash, that ETA better be super accurate, because remember, if we're late, we can get violations. Too many lead to deactivation. Let's move on, but that is critical for on-time rate. It's based on the ETA when you accept. Look, they say we continually calibrate our expected delivery times against actual delivery times. Deliveries completed up to 10 minutes late may still count as on time. Now, there's another question I had. I told you your ETA, it updates. 10-minute wait time at the restaurant. Now it's 6:19 p.m. instead of 6:09 p.m. And they say, okay, deliveries completed up to 10 minutes late may still count as on time. This was a big point of confusion, but that continually calibrate our expected delivery times, that is not the initial time shown when you accept the offer. Those calibrated ETAs are exactly like I said. It's like, after you've picked it up, it's now adjusted to account for any wait times at the restaurant and stuff like that, or traffic. So we're really going to have to follow that. But we got to move on. Going back to the new screen for the on-time rates here. Check this out. Shows the exact breakdown of individual on-time or late offers. Listen, this might be the most valuable updates. This is brand new. This is releasing now. When they first announced on-time rates, from my understanding, I'm trying to remember, but they did not have this. If they did, I don't know, they might have buried it somewhere, but this is the most valuable update we have seen in this new on-time rate. Let me show you what it is. It's this. Individual, what is it called? Lateness, individual, what do they call it? Hold on. They call it individual on-time or late offers. Yeah, exact breakdown. So if you think to yourself, I'm at 95% on-time rates, on-time rate, last 100 completed deliveries, there's no way. How am I 95%? I was never late. This will show you exactly, at least where DoorDash thinks you were late. Love this. So take a look. It shows you every offer in the last 100 of if you were on time or if you were late. So look, let's do this. Let me show you different views here that Dashers are seeing right now and how to use it. So this is the single offer view that was late. Okay. Now we're looking at single offers, and this one was late. So there was this one. Massachusetts Mike's. Does that roll off the tongue right now? Massachusetts Mike's Pizzeria. That'd be me if I had a pizzeria in Massachusetts. I'm in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Mike's Pizzeria. It doesn't really. Anyway, and this driver was late. So if you click on it, even not only do they give you this list, I love this. At least they did this right, I feel like. But we'll see if the timing is actually accurate, though. You can go even deeper. You can click on it, and it gives you this. It gives you an exact breakdown of when exactly you were late. This is super powerful. So, okay, let me show you more details. Massachusetts Mike's Pizzeria. So for this Dasher, he was late. Expected completion time, cumulative. The entire delivery was expected to take 15, well, entire, I mean pick up to drop off, I believe. Supposed to take 15 minutes. And this took 21 minutes. Late. You have even more detail though. Look at this. So offer accepted, 7:59 p.m. He got there 19 minutes after the estimated pickup time. Pickup at Massachusetts Mike's Pizzeria quoted to be 8:09 p.m. That's only 10 minutes. There's another thing we're going to have to watch. How accurate is this going to be? I love seeing it, but that's exactly what I told you. Guys, your ETAs on your offer screens better be super accurate and not squeeze, every minute out of Dashers, because, I don't want to feel rushed as a Dasher. I don't want you to feel rushed. We don't want to encourage unsafe driving. Remember the exclusions, some stuff will be excluded. We assume that's what DoorDash said if it's out of your control. But back to this Dasher, 19 minutes late from the quoted 10-minute pickup at 8:09. And then he delivered to the customer at 8:36 p.m. That was 2 minutes late from the quoted 8:34 p.m. What happened here? So how can you be 19 minutes? So it took him 30 minutes from basically 8 to 8:28. It took him like 29 minutes to go from his current location when he accepted it to when he picked it up. It was supposed to take 10 minutes to get there. He took like 30 minutes, hence 19 minutes late. Why would that happen? Well, here's what could happen. Let's talk about things that you didn't do. So if you're super late, traffic, right? Traffic, an accident on the road, and they were diverting traffic. What else? Is there anything else that would cause you to be that late? Like 19 minutes late from the quoted time. Even if it was quoted to get there at like 15 minutes, even 20 minutes, he took like 29 minutes to get there. Other than traffic or an accident on the road, vehicle issues, but if you have vehicle issues, you're not even going to get there because you're going to have vehicle issues, obviously. Start to think about this stuff. So he picked up late. Now, why was he only 2 minutes late to the delivery? Well, Mike, I thought he's 19 minutes late already to pick up. He's done for, you're going to be super late to the delivery. Not necessarily, because remember, delivery ETAs, like DoorDash just said, are constantly recalibrated to use their verbiage. So when he accepted, he saw the ETA on the offer screen. That counts. But here at pickup, because he was late, the ETA to the customer, I'm assuming, was recalibrated. Instead of, let's say, look, it says delivery 8:34 p.m. That might have said like, well, he was 19 minutes late. So it would have been like 8:15 p.m. But it recalibrated. So it's like, all right, well, you got here late. So now it's going to recalibrate delivery at 8:34 p.m. My question, that number, time, 8:34 p.m. Where was that pulled from? Was that pulled from where they say they're going to pull it, the ETA on the original offer card, or did they give him a little break and they like recalibrated it right here and then it recalculated to 8:34, but he was still late? Because I can't imagine if you're 19 minutes late and this was the original ETA, delivery ETA of 8:34, how did he like shave down 17 minutes here if this was not recalibrated and adjusted? So we'll have to follow that. I do need to move on. Folks, this is the brand new on-time rate. My name is Mike. All I do is help you make money in different side hustles. Consider subscribing. Thanks for being here. Drop a like on this video. And I'll answer your questions after this because we still have other things like, there we go. What about a combo of late plus early? So you're late on one leg, but then you're early on the other leg because this says I'm late on both. This is late to the pickup. This is late to the drop off. But what if I'm this? Chipotle. Well, okay, sorry, you're still late overall. It was quoted to take 24 minutes and I'm still late by 4 minutes. Look what happened here. So I accepted at 8:31 p.m. and I was quoted to pick up just 4 minutes later. This is exactly why I'm saying like these ETAs better be pretty accurate. So it said it would take you only 4 minutes to get from your current destination when you accept to the Chipotle. And it took him 13 minutes. So he was 9 minutes late. I'll say it the third time, these ETAs better be accurate. I mean, look, if it says it's going to take me 4 minutes to get to this Chipotle, I can see the Chipotle, right? It should be like right here down the road because I got to like get out of my little parking spot. Maybe I'm at a gas station. I got to go down the road a little bit. And why do I say that? Because you're like, well, Mike, no, a 4-minute drive, you can go a lot further than that. No, I don't want it to be down to the wire. What I'm saying is, if they say it's supposed to take 4 minutes to get there, I don't want it to be like 4 minutes with no traffic and you make all the right turns. Maybe you make a wrong turn out of the parking lot. You have to circle around another way. What I'm saying is there better be some wiggle room. There better be a cushion for these ETAs and not too unrealistic, right? I'm sure you'd agree with that. Anyway, so he got to the Chipotle 9 minutes late, but he saved some time. And again, we'll have to watch if this 9:05 ETA, DoorDash says, I would assume it's the ETA on the original offer card. I mean, that's what they say. But he shaved off 5 minutes. I'm wondering if that's the recalculated ETA, right? I kind of feel like it would be, right? We're going to have to watch that. But he was still late. So what does this mean? This means we talked about wiggle room. We mentioned that, DoorDash said if you're late within 10 minutes, it might still count as on time. They said that. They said some deliveries, you can be late up to 10 minutes and it can still count as on time. Not this one, apparently, because he was only late cumulatively by 4 minutes, as in the thing was supposed to take 24 minutes and it took him 28 minutes, if I'm reading this correctly. So I'm really kind of threading the needle of how much wiggle room do we have on this thing? Okay, what about this one? I'm going to be under the gun here on the wire of on time. Breathe. Let's just all take a breath on a Chipotle offer that was actually on time. Okay, look. On time. Wonderful. Completion time, 22 minutes. He saved 2 minutes. Offer accepted, 8:31. It said get there at 8:44. He got there at 8:44. Again, I really need some wiggle room here because you never know. It could be traffic, wrong turn. Just give us like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, ideally, wiggle room. So what I'm saying is if he went straight there and he got there at 8:44, which means if anything went wrong, he'd be late? No. So if it took him until 8:44, give us some wiggle room if one of those things happened. Anyway, he picked up on time, delivery to the customer, 2 minutes early. I will say this. And this, for whatever reason, this one kind of made me realize this. I'm hoping there's wiggle room. And I feel like there will be because of this. 2 minutes to the customer. Look, it was supposed to take 11 minutes, 8:44 to 8:55. An 11-minute delivery. But it took him, 9 minutes? I hope that's right. My math. So he got there in 9 minutes. I feel like you can't just shave off 2 minutes on an 11-minute delivery. You'd have to be booking it, and that makes no sense. On an 11, you could shave off 2 minutes on a 30-minute drive if you're going a little faster. But to shave off 2 minutes on an 11-minute run, that is why I'm hoping that's evidence that there is a cushion. There's some wiggle room. I'm hoping, that, and if this comes to Pittsburgh, I'll test this for you, that this driver would be like, oh yeah, I just left Chipotle. I just drove there per usual, following the speed limit and all that. And it said I got there 2 minutes early. That would mean that there's a buffer. That would be great. Okay, now check this out. You can shake it out if you want to take a break. Drop a like on this video. I know if I'm on the counter, if I'm on the sink, if I'm under the bed and now you're just listening to me talk because you don't want to get your phone, just grab the phone, just hit that like button real quick. It does help out, honestly. And join that newsletter, yourdrivermike.com/newsletter. I'm telling you, Q3, Q4, something big is coming. I can't even say yet. But what about the new rewards program? So there's Dasher Rewards. You should be familiar with that. what I call V1, but then there's the overall Dasher rating pilot program. I call it V2. Here's the best of both worlds. Well, the best of whatever this. Here's both. Here's the new on-time rates plus the new overall Dasher rating pilot program. So you can see here a Dasher on Reddit 13 days ago. This is brand new. Overall Dasher rating is pretty new. So this marketplace, this Dasher has both on-time rate and the overall Dasher rating pilot program. So here's what it looks like. And you can see the points, because overall Dasher rating pilot program is a points-based system. So all of your metrics, on-time rate, completion rate, all that stuff you're given points for. So it's a 1-to-1. And this Dasher was on time 87% of the time on the new calculation of on-time rates. And it's a 1-to-1. So 86% on time, you'd have 16 points. 87%, so then you can see here, 17 points. 88% on-time rate, 18 points, etc. Now, these points, if you don't know, add up to get you the rewards tiers right here. I believe this is the updated version. I apologize if it's not, but they've changed this at least once. So your points based on this stuff add up to 100. And based on where you're at on the points, you get silver, gold, and platinum. Silver, gold, and platinum, the same silver, gold, and platinum on V1. And of course, what does that do if you're silver, gold, or platinum? You get the perks like priority access to higher paying offers, priority access to Dash Now, the priority. Everything's changed to priority, apparently. That's basically what they've done. Priority access to the large order catering program. So this Dasher has both. Now, lastly, don't leave just yet. This new update was also sent to Dashers. If you don't know if you have this stuff, on-time rate, check your email for this. And again, shout outs to a Dasher, Nick, that sent this over to our info at yourdrivermike.com info line. So check your emails. More visibility into your on-time rates. Plus new changes to how we use delivery times in your area. This first part is newer. These two areas right here that basically just say, hey, here's on-time rates. And then they have the FAQs. And the FAQs is the same thing as their support page. So again, check your email. If you have this email, now you can also check your Dasher app. So go into your Dasher app, click on the menu, go into ratings, and then see if you have on-time early, on-time or early, or on-time rates. So you can check your app and the ratings. You can check your email for this. So overall verdicts. On-time rates calculated on the last 100 completed. ETA is judged from the ETA that's on the offer card up to 10 excluded late deliveries for things out of your control, traffic, restaurant wait times. But we saw a Dasher that cited 12 that were excluded. DoorDash said up to 10. Okay. And then we saw a deeper breakdown of exactly order by order, which ones were on time and which ones were late. I like that a lot. For that one thing alone, I like that breakdown of the last, I assume, if you keep scrolling, it's the last 100 deliveries. If not, I'm wondering how many they'll show you, but I'm assuming they'd be all 100. Now, not only that, you can click on each one and see the breakdown of time like we just went over. So, pros and cons, it's going to change more frequently than the on-time or early rates because that was based on lifetime. That could be good or bad. Even if you're on V1 or V2 of Dasher rewards, it's going to be more volatile, right? But if you're on time, you shouldn't care. Like, well, I'm on time. I go from A to B. My question that was hanging up there was, if I go A to B, I always go A to B. I'm not making, stops at the gas station and stuff like that. I should never really be late. So I told you my on time or early rate is 84%. So once I get on time, I should be on time like 95% plus, because obviously there's certain things that happen. So it should improve my on-time rates. That should give you more points for overall Dasher rating. But it's going to really be contingent on how accurate are the initial ETAs on that offer card. So let me know what you think about this. Up to, I think they said 10 deliveries can be delivered late, but still count as on time. That's the same question that I had the first time this came out. But right now, I want to hear what you're saying. If you're watching live, just put the question down below in the comments. Right now, let's get into that Q&A session, which we do on every live stream. It gets edited out for brevity. So if you missed this, again, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you soon.